I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of really dig the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It is a lot of fun. Like, I'm going to be watching this more than once this weekend. Now, that's not to say that I think this is a perfect movie. It isn't, especially the third act, which we're going to talk about. But it is a lot of fun. And the biggest thing that this movie needed to get right, it did get right with Leatherface. Mark Burnham as Bubba, he was awesome. He nailed the whole aesthetic of Bubba. He's big, he's hulking, he's not hulking, he's hulking. He's just a wide dude that you think could do all the shit that he needs to do in this movie. And holy shit, does he deliver on what Bubba is supposed to do in this movie. But before we get too far into that, we're going to pump the brakes a little bit and talk about the other thing that a good slasher movie needs, and that is good victims. I enjoyed the victims in this movie. I did. A lot. I believe them, despite the fact that I think the sisters were miscast. They didn't strike me really as sisters, in that they basically seem the same age, but Mel was supposed to be much older than Lila. At least that was the impression. They kind of seemed like they were sisters, that they could have been within a year of each other. But I like both of them. Both of the actresses. Dug them. Dante did his job. Ruth did her job. That whole scene in the bus, not the bus, sorry, the cop car, I thought that she was awesome. She nailed that scene. She didn't do much, but what she did do, you believed it. And that's what you need. You need it to not be corny. You need there to not be moments like,
do your thing, cuz.
which we do kind of have moments like that in the third act, but from the general victim pool, we don't get, which I'm very happy to see. Oh, and this is your warning. Spoilers ahead. I'm not holding anything back. Now, there are a couple things we have to address with this movie. One, the fact that there are cell phones everywhere. Two, the school shooting aspect. I've heard a lot of moans and groans about both of these aspects going into this movie. And the first thing you need to remember is that the whole point, everything that they are trying to do in this movie, the whole point of the plot is to go into Harlow and rebirth it with all of these hipster influencers that are trying to come in and make their mark on society, and everybody has their Instagram feeds and everybody has their cameras, and that's exactly what you would have happen. If there was a dude that looked like Bubba that came up on a bus and everybody would pull out their phones. That's what people do now. They pull out their phones and they want to get that on film. Like, hey, don't fuck with me because you're going to get canceled. Well, you can't cancel Leatherface because Leatherface is going to turn on his chainsaw and he's going to massacre your entire fucking bus. And that scene was amazing. We're going to pause because I want to talk about that scene some more. We're going to keep talking about the topical bullshit in this movie. So getting the whole influencer angle out of the way, we're going to talk about the school shooting part. And I know that this got a lot of groans. This is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. We don't need to be fucking reminded that there are shootings in schools and yada, yada, yada. I get that. I do. I understand that movies are an escape for all intents and purposes. But I want people to remember this. Dream Warriors, Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Freddy kills a girl with overdoses, right? That was topical to the time. You look at Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The beginning. What is a major theme in the victim pool? Draft dodging. Vietnam. Those were big, hot button topics back then. If you had done that in a movie then, sure, people probably would have been pissed. It's because we are in the middle of it that it is oh my God, I'm so fucking tired of hearing about school shootings. But to say that this movie shouldn't deal with what's going on in the world and have it be something that could have happened to one of the victims in the victim pool, and that is part of what she draws her strength from, being a victim already and not wanting to be a victim again, it fits for me. Could the argument be made that you didn't need to do that in order for there to be a strong victim? Yes, absolutely. But the fact that they did it doesn't bother me. It actually makes a lot of sense. Okay, now that that is all out of the way, let's start having some fun again. The kills in this movie were awesome. There was a little bit of CGI blood, not as much as I thought there would be because I'd heard that there was some. I liked the kills in this movie. They were brutal as fuck. Right from the get-go, you get the arm snap and the jab in the throat and the jab in the throat and the jab in the throat. Oh, that sets the tone for the whole movie. And I understand that the original doesn't have all that bloody guts or whatever, and this is a direct sequel to that. But in today's day and age, when you have a movie called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you're gonna have to have blood and guts and brutality. And that's something I love so much about this movie. More than any other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, there were serial killings. This is the first movie where we actually get a Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the bus. That was a legitimate massacre for the first time in the franchise. And it was a great scene because Bubba just walks in and there's no way out, and he just starts cutting the shit out of everybody. Cuts someone in half, the chick from the bank, and she falls out the window. You get kind of a dumb kill where he uses the chainsaw through a dude and it's his dick, and then it kind of simulates like he's screwing this other girl and kills her with it, and the one dude gets cut. There's just so many good kills in that moment, in that whole little scene, and you get the bloody handprints on the windows and the lightning's flashing, and there's a blink and you miss it moment. And I'm so glad that I saw it, because I didn't see it happen again. And if it happens more than once, please hit the comments and correct me, but I saw it happen only once. Alice Krieg, the mama, the owner of the orphanage that was taking care of Bubba, there is a lightning flash and you see her. You see her in the middle of the massacre. You see her face. I don't know if it's in a window or if it's a reflection on something, but Alice Krieg shows up, and she in and of herself is awesome. She is the perfect actress to add a creepy tone to something. See Silent Hill and her as the Borg. Oh, she's so good at that, and she has such a tiny little role in this movie, but it's such a huge role because it is the domino that just sets Bubba and this whole town on fire. And while we're on the topic of kills, we're going to blend that into talking about Sally. I initially, in this movie, liked the idea of Sally. I like that she took a proactive victim role in that she survived everything that happened in the original, and she became a Texas Ranger. She went really on the hunt. It's the antithesis, or at least it seems like the antithesis, of what Laurie Strode did in Halloween 2018, in that she prepped, but fuck, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to do nothing, and okay, now he's out, now I'm going to do something about it. Sally has been looking for this fucker for a long time, but because you can't see what's under a mask and nobody knows what he looks like, she can't find him. She gets hints and she shows up. I thought she was going to be a much stronger, I'm going to take this shit down, but it was good to see that no, like, she wants him, but she is fucking terrified when she sees Mom on the field, which, again, great visual, great practical effects on that. She is shooketh. She is terrified of the idea of going after Bubba, but she does it. And then you have this confrontation moment. She's like, you don't even fucking remember me.
I don't even know who you are.
Because Bubba doesn't have that type of remembrance, that she didn't matter to him. She's just one who got away. The reason I'm going to blend that into the kills, because this is really the start of where the third act falls apart, is the Sally kill non-kill. Because you have this great standoff moment, and then Bubba comes running at her and chainsaws her and picks her up and shakes her for a good probably at least 6 seconds, and he's just getting covered in her blood, and he throws her, and then she survives and shoots him with a shotgun twice. What? I get it. I get you gotta have this hero moment, but you brought back this character, not the original actress, and then you kill her, but before you kill her, you have this stupid ass moment where she somehow either isn't dead and isn't paralyzed from the spinal cord damage of being lifted by that chainsaw and thrown through the air. Totally dumb. Keeping on the theme of dumb, Mel should not have been walking for the whole last act of that movie. And when you do shit like that, especially towards the end of the movie, people are going to stop caring because it seems like you stopped caring. So overall, it was an enjoyable Texas Chainsaw Massacre experience for me. I will watch a sequel if they make a sequel to this, because they absolutely can. I will probably watch this again. But really, if I could sum this whole movie up in one word, predictable. I saw everything coming probably 5 minutes before each thing was coming. When they had Mama in the truck, like, fuck, she's gonna be the face. And then, okay, he moved, he's gonna die. Okay, Dante's doing this, he's gonna die there. He's grabbing the hammer, he's back in the, okay, that's where the chainsaw is. And okay, here's this hero character in Richter. He's gonna be the one that, okay, there's some hope, and then they're gonna kill him. And then, okay, the bus scene, which we knew from the trailer. There was a bunch of moments like that where You could see what was going to happen before it happened, but for me, that didn't matter, especially when you could tell when Bubba was about to do his thing. And one last quick thing that I really liked from this movie, the soundtrack. The music in this movie was fucking awesome. Now, I want to know what you thought of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. There's a lot of people saying it's the worst horror movie they've ever seen. It's not. And there's some people saying it's the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre since the original. It's also not. Me, I'm pretty middle of the road. So hit the comments below. Let me know. And now that Texas Chainsaw Massacre is out, that means we are 1 week away from Studio 666. And if you don't know what that is, the Foo Fighters are making a horror movie about their next album. Yeah, go watch my trailer reaction for that here. I'll have a link in the description below. I hope to see you over there. I'm getting out of here. Take care. Bye.